subscribe now and press the bell icon. Never miss an update.
Hello everyone, welcome to another Leader Spotlight in OP10. Today we're here to talk about Reiju, one of my most favorite decks of all time. You know, if you watch or tune into this channel, watching my videos, I talk a lot about her, and that's because she is the #1 rogue deck today. In OP9, she's the #1. OP10, she gets better. In OP11, I think she's going to be top 10 easily. And the reason why I think she's not in top 10, because if you look at the simulator, look at rank play, a lot of times she's sitting at 11, 12. It's because a lot of people just assume she's very complex, or there's a lot of moving pieces, and they kind of stray away from it. But this deck has so much tech, it's so versatile, helps you build out such a big hand, and most importantly, this is one of the most affordable decks. If you love Power Rangers, you love fun gameplay, I think this is the deck for you. So let's kind of dive into it. For people who are familiar with my OP09 deck, which I've done really well in locals and other places, a lot of the things are the same, but I'll kind of point out what some of the differences are. The first one is, with Reiju, for people who aren't familiar, once per turn, whenever you do a minus, Dawn, so essentially a Dawn leaving the field back into the Dawn deck, you draw one card. This is such a OP ability just to build out your hand size. You're gonna have so much resources with this deck and so many options. And for people who aren't familiar with Dawn -1 is, so imagine you have 4 Dawn cards, right, on your second turn, and you play a card that says Dawn -1. So now you send 1 Dawn card back from the field. It could be active or rested back into your Dawn deck. So your total Dawn right now is going to be 3. So next turn, instead of having 6 Dawn, you're going to have 5 Dawn. So it kind of works like that. There are some cards in here to give you your Dawn back, but that's like the basics behind Dawn minusing your Dawn. Initially, I was kind of confused by this, but it's pretty fun. The first one's going to be your Red Ranger. This is your bread and butter. This is not going to change. So he costs 4, you -1 Dawn, you summon him, which gives you Rush, and you can give it a character -2,000 ability. Super strong, and the fact that you can play out of your trash, which essentially means that you can trash all of these big rangers, because a small ranger can summon from, Reiju, or even him, you can summon from your hand, or the graveyard, the larger versions of them. So, when you're countering, you're throwing cards away, don't be afraid. Next one is Judge. I only play him, only 1 copy. Some people do 2. Because with Reiju, even if on your first turn you bottom deck Judge, you cycle through your deck so much with your stage card, with Porsche, that you can easily find Judge. And Judge is also very situational. Unless you can get Black Maria out, a lot of times you might not be at 10 Dawn. So don't expect to get him out. In situations he does well is where you have the Dawn and your board's kind of empty and you need to refill it. Playing a Judge allows you to essentially summon all the baby versions from the trash, and then you could do -1, summon all the bigger versions, and in 1 turn, you could have a full board, which is amazing. One of my other favorite characters here is Sora. Her ability is, which is cool. I don't always tend to use it. It's not always needed. But essentially, you discard 1 card from your hand, assuming you have equal to or less Dawn, and you could summon a 4,000 power or less, which we'll call character. So this is what you would use to summon back, let's say, your Little Red Ranger, Blue Ranger, Green Ranger, and some of the other counterpart. But most importantly, you can search for her, and she's 2k counters. So most of the time, I use it for the counter, but there has been clutch times where I've used her ability. Next one is going to be Niji. 3 cost, -1. You summon him, 5 cost, 6k attack, and he's very versatile because he gives you 2 effects you can use. The first one is you can KO up to one of your opponent's character with 2 cost or less. So if you have those annoying blockers or 1 cost that can attack you later, great to KO them. And the second effect is send a character with a cost of 4 or less back to their deck. So if you're going against a Dofi or you want to send a blocker back, this gives you so much versatility. Some people run 3, but I think 2 is enough. You can search for it, bring it back. The main ones I really care about is the Red Ranger and Pink Ranger, which I'll explain in a bit, but Blue Ranger is great for its versatility. The next one, not a lot of people run Yanji, but I feel like anyone who's not is missing out. Starting at OP09, 10, EBO2, there's so many big bodies out there, and you really, with Reiju having 4 life, you want to have that protection, and he's very versatile. When you have less Dawn, which will be very often, his bigger version is going to be sitting at 6,000 instead of 5,000. So he's really strong, really versatile, and he has saved my life so many times. So I think running 2-2 is a pretty good balance. Plus, when you use the judge, you want to have these additional options as well too. You may not always need the Blue Ranger. The Green Ranger is great too. Next one is going to be one of our important cards, Reiju. The reason why she's great is she can build your hand size up so large. So she costs 2, -1. You summon this Reiju, and her ability is, as long as you have 5 or less cards in your hand, you draw 2 cards. So when you drop a Reiju and you combine it with the leader ability, you can essentially draw 3 cards. So opponents will have a really hard time keeping up with you hand size wise. Now the next card I'm going to talk about is, actually, let's jump a little to Porsche and then we'll talk about Chopper. Porsche is great because first she can search for herself. Then her next ability is you -1 Dawn card, right? And then you can go ahead and summon a character which has 4 cost or less. So if you notice, all of our baby Rangers are 4,000 or less. So if you have 3, Dawn cards right now, and you're like, hey, I wish I could summon my Red Ranger, you play the Porsche, you do the search, you either find her or another Foxy character that's important, and then you can summon this 4 cost, play the Big Ranger, and you have an awesome rush now. So she's awesome. I think 3 is definitely needed. And with her, you get access to 2 other Foxy tech, which I'll talk about. The first one is Chopper. I think having 3 is great. You want to have the blockers just because, again, Reiju is 4 life, and sometimes she's vulnerable if she's not finding the right cards. So having him is awesome, and the fact that Porsche can search for herself and Chopper is pretty cool, or Chopper is pretty cool. And one of the nice abilities about Chopper is when you play him, as long as you have equal to less Dawn, you can take a Dawn from your Dawn deck and add it as rested to your active deck. So if you just lost a Dawn from doing a Dawn -1, Chopper can help you get it back, which is really awesome. Next one is, a lot of people run 4 of this, but I think 3 is more than enough for Black Maria. With Black Maria, she's a 2k counter, and you can activate her main without resting. And the ability is, you get 5 rested Dawn, and at the end of your turn, you throw away any additional Dawn, so you have equal amount as your opponent. So essentially, if you're doing a lot of combos and you're running low on Dawn, you're like, hey, next turn, my opponent has 10 Dawn, and I'm only going to have 7 Dawn. At the end of the turn, activate Black Maria, and now you're going to be caught back up, so you don't really feel any of the negative impact from doing a Dawn -1. And on top of that, she's a 2k counter again. Having these is a godsend. I love it. The next few cards we'll talk about is, so this is one of the new cards from OP10. It's a Sanji. So essentially you play this, and you can look at the top 5 cards and reveal up to a Germa character, place the rest bottom of your deck. So I used to run Germa 66, which was an event card, but this to me is way better, because now you have the counter, you have a character you can actually play, and it's only 1 cost. So I used to run 2 Germa characters, or 2 Germa 66 event cards, just replace it with the Sanji. I think combined with the Sanji and the stage, you don't need 4. Some people run 4, but I think 2 is more than enough. Like, I don't want to lose anything else in this deck for OP10. The next one is a really awesome character. So I always ran 2 Gina from Foxy. The reason why I ran her is she's searchable by Porsche, and on top of that, she was a 2k counter. Besides that, her ability really wasn't useful. But this is essentially a upgraded Gina. This cost 2 cost, 2k counter. Oh, sorry about that. I was getting very caught up in a moment talking about Foxy. And then lastly, you can activate this guy's main ability, trash his card, and draw 1 card. So that is super duper useful. So if you're like, hey, I haven't found there's going to be one game, I think I may have recorded this, if I'm not mistaken, where I don't find my Germa stage card or my Sanji searcher card. So the whole time I'm like, I can't search for anything. So in those situations, just having this ability to draw an extra card, definitely super useful. And then we'll talk about the last 3 cards here. So in OP9, I ran a lot of Pudding, but again, I noticed a lot of big bodies like Teach or Blackbeard. You got the Shanks. So having a red rock to essentially send any character to bottom deck, super useful. Replace the Pudding, put these 2 in, and I think you'll have a great time. And then Black Bug, very situational. You can search for it. That's the reason why I only keep 1 in the deck. And the reason why this is so impactful is you can essentially send a 5 cost card to bottom of the deck. So it's very often if someone has like a dangerous card or has like a blocker and you're trying to end the game, this Black Bug really helps. If you watch my OP9 video, I think Black Bug actually saved the day. So I love this character or this card. I think it's worth having at least one. And then the last and most important card, best for last, is the Stage Germa Kingdom. You want to find this either on your first hand and try to mulligan for it. So when you get your first hand, if you don't have a Sanji or a Germa Kingdom, try to mulligan for it. The only time I would consider not is if I had both the Red Rangers, but you really want to get this card. And the reason why it's so powerful is you play 1 cost, and then every turn you can discard one of these baby versions or these big versions, right? Because you can play from trash, and you can keep searching your deck. So you can just keep finding all the cards you want, and this will help you like cycle through your deck so much. Super duper useful. So that is, 51 cards. I've been doing a lot of testing on the simulator, and this has been kicking ass. Even in EBO2, which you can play on the simulator right now with OP10, this is doing so well. I am winning majority of my games, and I'm excited. In OP10, I'm going to be rocking Reiju main and blue-black Usopp. I'll make more videos around that. It took me some time to get a hold of Usopp and his abilities and how he works, but I love it. So just to recap, the big changes I'm making from OP9 to OP10, replace the Germa 66 event cards with 2 Sanjis, I think it's better. Replace the Gina with 2 Foxies, and replace the Pudding with 2 Red Rock. Do that, and I think you're going to kick ass. I'm going to have a lot more Reiju gameplay, so definitely follow along. Let's get into 3 games and see how this deck actually works out. Let's get into a Reiju OP10 game going against Issho, the Navy. We like to go first. First is good. I don't see my Sanji or my stage, so let's mulligan again. We don't have any. We didn't get what we wanted, but we at least have our big Red Ranger, which is always nice. Not getting the stage or a Sanji is definitely difficult. At least my favorite is definitely getting the stage, 100%. You can use that to continuously cycle. One of the best things I love about the Reiju deck is you can essentially cycle the Reiju deck multiple times. There we go. Per game. So we can't activate that. We have 3. So I guess what we're going to do here is do an attack, put down a blocker just to be safe. Something like this is definitely very rare, I've found. Reiju deck is relatively consistent. I almost always get a stage or the Sanji or something that's going to help me search relatively within the first, hand or two. Or especially if you mulligan, you have a great chance at it. But sometimes it's good to experience this because not every game is going to be super easy like this or super easy where you get all the cards you want. So we're going to counter out of that. As you guys know, you don't want to you don't mind putting the big Rangers in the trash because Reiju mostly plays from the trash. Oh, Borsalino, I hate that character. Look at that. We haven't found another single. That is wild. I don't think I've ever really seen that. That is crazy. So what we can actually do here is we're just going to go for one big swing right here. Just if he blocks with the Borsalino, hopefully we'll just kill him. But 10k, is he going to do it? He might, he has 6k, so he might block and then counter out. But we'll see. He's definitely thinking. I don't think he wants to be down to 3 life so quickly, but who knows? Yep. Okay, he actually took that. So we'll end our turn here. I doubt, this guy will attack us. This Sengoku actually looks pretty cool. I've been dying to learn the Issho deck. I have a lot of the cards I want for this, but I just haven't pulled the trigger yet. You know what? I might just take this. Nope. It would be funny if all the searchers that I needed were on the bottom of the deck. It's super rare when that happens, so here we're going to counter out of it. Not even an issue. Now we really need the Red Ranger. That's the big card we need here. So we have a banish. It's perfectly fine. What is he going to do with his last? Nothing. There we go. We got what we wanted. So let's put this down. We'll minus Dawn. Actually got ahead of myself for a second. Super excited. Really hate this Borsalino, so perfectly makes sense. Now, I doubt he wants to go down to 2k, so I'm just going to do a huge swing on him. You know what? I can actually remove Yeah, let me actually do that. Let me go for a 1 hit, remove something out of hand, because I don't want him to have too many counters. Wow, he actually targets that. He's probably going to counter out of this. Wow, he didn't even try to count. Wow, that is crazy. He must have something really big in his hand that he doesn't want to give away yet, which is perfectly fine. I might put down another chopper just to be safe. I feel like something sneaky is about to occur. So let me do that. I'm going to do an 8K swing, and then I'm going to put down a chopper. I could have done like a bigger swing, but I wonder if he's going to eat it or is he going to give me his life? He's definitely, oh, he's going to counter. Okay. Come on, give me one more card from my hand, baby. One more. There we go. Got rid of another Bussolino. That is perfect. Damn, oh, I wish I had the Green Ranger. But deploy him, get a Dawn back. And now we're in a great position. We have 3 life, 2 choppers. Even in OP10, I've looked at like OP11 cards. It's going to be tough. Like in OP11, am I still going to run some of these Foxy cards? Maybe. Or I might just have pure Germa deck. But either way, I'm really excited. Like OP10, Reiju and Black Blue Usopp are my 2 main that made me to like continuously play. But OP11, I'm probably gonna exclusively play Reiju. So many awesome cards in that deck. So we got -1. We don't really want to counter out of anything here. So let's just give up one of our choppers. Chopper, I love you. I'm sad that you were taken momentarily from the crew during this episode arc, but just initially when I first started using this card, I was like, maybe let me do something different. But over time, I've like grown to love this chopper. A lot of times people also ask me like, why is like Reiju or like a rogue deck? And when I kind of think about rogues is like I played a lot of World of Warcraft, and rogues are typically, jump in, stab you in the back, mess you up type situation. And I feel like that's kind of what Reiju do. There's so many opportunities to remove cards, to take people out, have good amount of rush in the deck as well. Ooh, we got Frozen. That is not good. And there aren't a lot of heavy hitters in this deck, but if you get the cards you want, you're going to do really well. See, it's crazy. We still haven't found a stage yet. So what we can do is actually play her out, Duna minus Dawn to get more cards in hand. Okay. See, look, now we actually have a blocker, which is awesome. 7, 8. I could Black Bug. That's probably what I will do. I'll actually Black Bug. Who to get rid of? Activate Banish. One of you Dawn cards is active. I really don't like Carrot though. Carrot sucks. On play, when attacking, one of your opponent's rested 7 or not become active. This is very difficult, but set one of you Dawn. I might actually get rid of this Smoker right here. The Smoker kind of seems like a pain. So we'll bottom deck the Smoker. We'll actually come in here and do an attack. Remove some cards out of hand. I'm not sure he's going to take this, but then at least next turn we're going to put Yanji down, which is really nice. And if I don't get Little Red Ranger next turn, I could use her to summon, one of the Rangers. So I think we'll be fine here. So let's actually come in here, put the Yanji down, put him down 6K because they have more Dawn than us. And it's kind of wild. I remember during like OP8, OP9, I was like, hey, asking a lot of people, should I put a Yanji in? And everyone was against it. But I always like kind of had Yanji in my deck because I liked him. And I've noticed like in OP, 9, and even in OP10, like this card has saved my life so many times. This card and Black Bug. I only carried 2 of these and 1 Black Bug. But the good thing about Black Bug is you can easily search it. Even if you bottom deck it, you cycle through your deck so much. But yeah, she's going to come in. It's going to freeze. Yep, perfectly fine. And we actually, I guess we'll take this. Oh, look at that. We don't even have to use her ability. Perfect. So if he attacks next time, I'll at least have another 4K counter, which is nice. Nope. We're going to Black Maria you. And then next turn, we'll actually just kill this Carrot. Ooh, look at that, a blocker. 7K blocker. Jesus Christ. And we got a Borsellino. Now this is going to be tough. But tough is good. Tough is where we want to be. That's when rogues come in and sort of shank you. He only has 2 cards in hand, but he has 2 blockers. The carrot's back up, so definitely difficult. Now the question is, who am I gonna minus here? I feel like I have to do him. So and I go for the Borsellino. Yeah, I'll actually do that. Play at the Reiju, use the ability. We're gonna -2 on him, just because if he ends up trying to block, we have a good chance of killing him. If not, this guy's also really annoying, so we want to kill him as well too. So we have 5 cards in hand. Anything else we want to play down? I don't have another Red Ranger, do I? Nope, no other Rangers. Hopefully next turn we'll put out the Judge if necessary. But I think I'm just going to go for a kill on Borsellino here. I think that's going to be the best move. So we have 5 cards in hand. Like, I don't think it's really worth trying to play anything else out. So we'll go in here and give 7, 8, 9, 10. I think 10 is actually fine. Let me do that. Yeah. Let's just give him 11 just to be safe. I've actually never seen this Sengoku before. EBO 2, I guess makes sense. We'll actually go in here. He's probably going to block that, I assume. Nope. And I could attack, but he's just simply just going to 5, 6, 7. Maybe I actually will do that. Attack with her. If he blocks it 5, 5, he still has a counter. That's crazy. He went down to 2 health. And our Yanji is rested, unfortunately. So we'll see what they do here. The crazy thing about the Sengoku I can see is if you're like, hey, I don't want a lot of blockers typically don't have a crap ton of health. In the buggy deck, yes, you have Mihawk, but most blockers will have like 4K or less. So being a 7K, he's like, hey, I'm done blocking. I want to go slap someone. You got Sengoku here. Man. We're so close to the game that things could still turn around. He did play this in Goku, so he's searching for something. So he's trying to make some move happen. I feel like if he found the card he's looking for, I don't play this deck yet, so I can't imagine what he's looking for. But if he does, maybe this will be a different game. But I also have a lot of counters in here. We have 2K, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4K. Carrot can freeze one of these, unless she finds like another freeze card. Might be, oh, there we go. So we got 5K. We're actually just going to, we're going to counter out of that. You want to try to save as many cards as possible. She's definitely going to freeze one of the big Red Rangers, but come on, Carrot. I hate her annoying ability of freezing characters in place. Yep, froze that. So now, I think I'm actually going to save her. And he still has something. But the good part is we have most of our characters and we still have 2 health. So he's probably going to attack with Sengoku, which is perfectly fine. That means next turn there won't be a blocker to mess with us. But if he doesn't, then I doubt he has anything with Rush in his deck. So maybe he'll put down something to freeze other characters. Either freeze or some sort of blocker, I'm suspecting. Yep, as I called it, blocker. There we go. Actually, look at that. Quite a few blockers. Jesus. So, we essentially have 4 blockers. And we don't have something in our deck that can avoid blockers. So we're going to have to go through all of these, which is perfectly fine. We have to take that carrot out, though. The carrot's going to be annoying. The Sengoku can attack us later on, but we have most of our cards, which is really, really awesome. So if I go in for, he has 2 cards, so let's see how we can actually play this out. We have to try and kill her. She's the annoying one. So 7, we've got to start killing some blockers. 5, 6, 7. If I do, no, we have to do 8 here. Let's go for it. Is he going to use one of the blockers? Maybe. I feel like he definitely doesn't want to let this carrot go. Because if you lose a carrot, your other blocker has to attack. Plus, the carrot has a really annoying ability to keep our big red ranger suppressed. But he only has 2 cards in hand, and he only has this many blockers. So if he ends up wasting too much, there we go. Expected that. 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 seems to be like the magic number here. I suspect he's going to do another blocker as well. So, yep. Oh, it's nice. When you KO, he can actually kill one of my characters. He's probably going to go for Yanji, I suspect. Oh, wow, okay. Interesting. Interesting indeed. So we have 2 blockers left. I really don't want to use this guy. 6, 7, 8. We come here, he's going to be able to block. So we're going to waste a lot of blockers. This is the tough part. I could actually do something cheesy here. Let's actually do that. Let's deploy her, use her ability, trash 1 card. And who do we want to pull out from here? We need more cards in hand, so there's only one real obvious answer. So we have to play her. Return of Dawn. 3 cards. Perfect. And we got a Porsche for next turn, which is really nice. So I still want to keep this around, so I'm going to go ahead and just go in for the attack. Eight, well, he's going to counter out of that. Yep, he's going to use the counter as suspected. And this is a 6. No, he only needs a 1k counter for that. So I don't want to... This is where the riskiness is. I don't know what that card is. It could even not be a counter. If you played a counter, he could come in for the attack. Yeah, we have to leave that blocker up. So I was really debating, should I attack with Yanji? If I attack with Yanji and they didn't have a counter, character would be dead. Great, but now I'm open to attacks. So he could turn around and say, oh, Sengoku, Bart, and they could still kill me. So I think it was good we left the blocker in place. Porsche's already so OP, so I know me asking for this is kind of like, being a little greedy. I wish he just had a counter. Even a 1k counter would have been great. Porsche's, kind of situational. I do try to use her as much as possible, especially early game. It really helps where you want to be able to play out the Little Red Ranger and you only have 3 Dawn. So it's really awesome. But late game, if you need to fill your board up, definitely get to have her. I love when it gets down to like the last, few rounds. That's when it gets like super quiet like this. We're all thinking nice and hard. And this is kind of the experience I found facing like most OP10 decks so far, is either Reiju makes it really close to the end, or she ends up winning. And usually the times I lose is situations like this. Literally, I haven't seen a single stage yet. Like, am I crazy? Did we get rid of anything? No. So we haven't seen a single stage yet, no Sanji yet. So we've done all of this with essentially no searching. So she's attacking at 9. Can we save it? 7, 8, 9. We really can't, but we could. If we block... Actually, let's actually do that. So that's 9. We're just going to block it, take that. Because now this guy's still a threat, so now he might have to lower one of his, whatchamacallit, blockers to sort of deal with this. That was definitely a gamble, and either that gamble is going to win it for me, or maybe that's the thing that caused it, but we'll see. Luckily, they still have 2 cards in hand, 1 life, 2 blockers, so we're making good progress here. Yep, as I suspected, The Sengoku coming through. But the good part is I'm glad they killed their Red Ranger because now we have another one. Look, we finally get the Sanji. That's just so funny. I'm going to put the Porsche out just because I want there to be another danger in case we go past the next round, which we probably will. So let's put the Porsche out. Use the ability. -1 Dawn. Ooh, good part is that we can actually find a tank here so we can get more life, which is great. So we'll take her, return the deck. We'll play out the Ichiji. We'll the -1 Dawn. Play this out. And now the question becomes who to go for. We want to try to end the game for sure. So we'll just give him -2 just for the time being. I'm still deciding on what I want to pull out. But let's see here. We have 3 life. So we have 2 blockers. So we got to get these blockers. He only has 1 card in hand. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I feel like he was not expecting that, but I think this is what we needed. Cool. So he has 2, 1, 2, and we have 3 characters. So I think we have to do like a 6K swing. Yep. 6K swing. Fortunately, I wanted to play the chopper, but we might be able to get game here. We'll see. And then the 7K swing. He probably has enough to counter 2 counters, I'm suspecting. Yep, he was able to counter out of that. And he might be able to win. We'll see. We do have... So on his first attack, if we can block it, I think we have a good shot to win here. I was a little worried, but I'm glad we drew the Black Maria. I think our 2K counter is going to be very clutch. The suspense is building. One, two, three. I know he's very nervous here because I definitely would be. This is one of our last turns. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll actually do that. So no blockers. Boom, 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 and boom. So now at most he has 2 attacks. He doesn't have a rush, so I'll still have a life. You know, I'll be 1 hit away, and then his blocker probably has to do 1 of the attacks. So he's wide open for next turn. And he no longer I'm glad that Carrot froze. We'll take that. Nothing we can do. This is why I played the Porsche out, because I figured I might need 1 extra body. And this is perfectly fine, because he only has 1 blocker. And I have these 2 characters. So essentially, if I didn't play the Porsche, I would have 1,000% lost. It's as simple as that. So he has this blocker. We're going to 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, just do a 9. Attack. He's going to block with a Sengoku. The rest will go to... And that's it. GG. That was so heart-pounding. But like I said, a lot of these games of Reiju is exactly like this. Either super close or you win it out. I literally got Sanji at the end, and let's look at my deck. Let's see where, like, they're like all the way at the bottom. So I essentially beat this game without my biggest like OP card in the deck, which is this German Kingdom. So either way, guys, this is awesome. We'll do another one and see who we can get. But Reiju is the greatest in OP10. Don't quote me on that, but I just really love her. Alright guys, let's get into another game of Reiju in OP10. This time we're against Arlong. OP03 should be fun. This looks pretty good. We definitely want some Churma Kingdom stuff in our hand. The stage, such a need. If you remember last game, we did not find the Kingdom or the new Sanjis, but we still won, which was perfect. So let's go ahead and pop the Kingdom. And we could do something cheesy here if we don't find what we're looking for, but let's see. We might do it, we might not. We'll trash that. We'll pick up one of these brothers. I'll take him. I could replace the stage again, do another search, but I don't want to lose any of these. I think we're in a good position. I only have 2 Yanjis in my deck, so I definitely want to make sure I at least have one near, just because you never know when that additional blocker. And a lot of times, because you're doing Don -1, Yanji is going to be a 6K. So, plus combined with all the hard cards you can potentially get in hand, really strong, counter to many things. So, we'll actually take this. Ooh, wow, look at this guy. I hate these types of double attack cards. They are never fun. So we got rid of a Germa. This is tough because I feel like we really need a blocker on board. But before we do anything, let's go in. I think this is what we're going to do. We're actually going to put the blocker out this turn, because this guy's going to come for sure. So let's go ahead and do 2. Like, this is where I really want to get the Red Ranger out. But that double attack, depending on how much he puts in, so nasty, especially when I have only 3 health left. So we need to get a blocker on field. We could have put, a little chopper there, but he works better. Plus, we can use our leader ability, draw another card. We got a judge, not bad, end our turn. So now we're kind of in a good position. We have enough cards that we can get rid of to avoid the double attack. But Arlong is now, look at his EBO2 cards. Love it. No rest. Man, these fishmen are so scary. So I feel like I'm gonna have to take this right now. And then of course the double attack is coming soon. We'll block out of that. But scary, scary stuff. I like Arlong. When I first saw him in the anime, I was like, this guy is so cool. And then since then, it's just gotten so good. But having 3 of these little Red Rangers is perfect. So next turn, I think we can make some moves happen. And also hopefully get some other things out. So we'll have 5 in hand. Perfect. We actually got the Porsche, so this is actually really beautiful. We can put 2 down. I actually like that. That's great. So what we're going to do here is play out the Porsche. Return our Dawn. Look at all these Red Rangers here. Nothing much we can really do. Let's actually put this one in the front. A Sora. Yeah, that works. We'll summon him. Look at that. We even got a Sanji now, which is perfect. We'll use his ability. Pull out the Red Ranger. None of these have blockers, which is cool. We'll just give it to him. Going for the attack. So hopefully next turn they'll try to go for him, but I have more Little Rangers, which is perfect. So my last 2, I'm actually going to put down a Chopper. Let's be a little safe. And now we could do another search, but I think we're good for now. So now we have 2 blockers on board. We have 2 health. He has 2 health. 6. Yeah, we're actually looking pretty even so far. But, ooh, love this card right here. The fact that you can essentially find any other triggers. Enjoyed this in my Vegapunk deck. I really hope at some point later we'll see a lot more Vegapunk support cards. Just isn't the way it is right now. So he's coming in with 8K. We're just going to block out it with Chopper, which is not an issue. Nice. Any other blockers? No other blockers yet. Perfect. We don't have any other Red Rangers. So what we're going to do here is go ahead and dump one of these. Let's see who we want to pick out. Sora's not bad. Let's actually do a Sanji search as well too. See who else we can pull out. We got some Neji action. We don't even have him on the field. So unfortunate. We'll take the Neji Ranger. Not an issue. And then I feel like we really want to get down to 5 cards so we can get more cards in hand. So that's what I'll actually do. I'll put down this Chopper, use his activation. We're almost there. Let's replace the Sanji. Use her Dawn -1. This is Reiju's best ability. Just getting, look how many cards we have in hand now. So next turn, we have a lot of counter, a lot of options, which is perfect. So we're actually going to come in first. Let's do a 5K swing. Let's get some cards out of hand. He doesn't have any blockers yet, which is nice. We'll do a 6K swing. go for that. I really thought this Hawkins was a blocker, but it's not, which is cool. We'll do a 7K swing. There's a lot of EB10 and EBO2 card, or OP10 and EBO2 in here, which is nice. And look at that. Cool. So 4 cards. I think we're actually looking like we're in a pretty good position here. I'm glad we have that extra chopper, so I feel like this is what he really wants to get off. This double attack right here. If he can do a big enough swing, he can take these 2 cards off and then just end the game. But unless he puts on a blocker, and if he doesn't remove enough from my board, I can probably just kill him next turn. Plus, I have the rush as well, too, with my Little Red Ranger. So a lot of good options. Yep, here he comes. If possible, we're probably just going to counter out of this and still save the chopper for something else. So he wants to take the Porsche out. I think I'm going to come in here and say, no, thank you. Let's get rid of a Sora. And get rid of this. Keep the Porsche alive. Now, he really wants the Porsche as well, too. Do I want to give the Porsche up? You know what? I'll give it up. That's fine. We still have the Red Ranger, another rush. He has 7 cards left, so this is definitely a very dangerous place to be. I know with the new OP11, you have Shirahoshi coming out, so a lot more Fishman support will be here soon. We really don't want to give this up. I really like this. 6K. I'm actually just going to, let's see, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we really can't get out of this, but just to protect our life, we'll give that the chopper. He'll kill this. He really wants that. Perfectly fine. Take it. He doesn't have any blockers down, which is really, really nice for us. It is perfect. So he has 5 cards in hand. So essentially, we need to keep 4 around for our surprise Niji Ranger. So let's do that. 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we'll do 5, 6, 7. We can end the game here, or we could mess it up. We'll see. But I'm feeling pretty good. Cool. He has 3 cards left in hand. So we might be able to do something. 5, 6, 7. He's probably praying there's not another Red Ranger, so is he going to take that? Ooh, he's thinking hard. I've been in these positions. You know, I've been very sweaty right towards the end of the game. I feel like he didn't really get a chance to use this cracker as much as I feel like he could have. See? Now he's like, oh, there's nothing he can do here. He's like, oh, shit. I feel like to mess with him, I should go ahead and, damn, he might be able to block this, actually. What is this? All right, let's go in here, and we're going to trash this just to mess with them. Like, oh, we're trying to find the Red Ranger. Well, let's just take his counter just in case. Oh, there's nothing we can do. Oh, crap. Holy shit buckles. Go in here. -1. Pull out the big Red Ranger. Let's get our free card. And we'll just kind of minus this guy because I don't like him. Let's go in for the attack. Can he counter out of it? We'll see. He did. Perfect. So he countered out of it. We have 2 life. He has enough creatures. We might be able to do something. This is tough. I may have got over greedy. Maybe I should have played a little safe. But the important part here is to definitely block this double attack right here. We don't want to lose these 2 health. So we have 3 swings. We have a dangerous board. And he has 1 card in hand. So he could. And, yep, there we go. It's kind of what I expected. 11. Let's see. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I literally only have enough. Damn, that sucks. But you know what? We'll take it. Boom. You know what? We just have way too much counter in hand at this point. I don't think he can beat us. Nope. Yep, go for all of that. I am perfectly fine. Let's give up the chopper. This is why Reiju is so great. Look how much resources we have in hand. The question is, can we get out of this? So we got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We got it. Boom, 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 boom. Just to build a little suspense. Boom. And he has nothing he can do. GG, he called it. That's it. Boom. And that's how we got him. This is why Reiju is so cool, because the amount of hand size you can build, so much option. And look, he had powerful characters, a lot of options. And OP10 is going to be awesome for Reiju. It's already great in OP9. OP11 will get better. Let's actually do one more match and see where things end up. All right, guys, let's do our last game here and see what fun stuff we can pull out here. So we have a Kaido. We obviously want to go first. This isn't bad. I really wish we had our searchers, but I'm going to keep the Red Ranger. I think it's worth it. So I'm going to keep this. Draw Dawn. Nothing much we can do. For people who aren't familiar with what Kaido does, 1 Dawn, your turn, once per turn. One of your opponent's characters KO'd. You may add 1 Dawn card from your deck instead of as active. So great way to ramp up, which is cool. And we really can't do anything until our next turn because we don't have any ports, no searchers. We don't, we can't play this guy. So we're just going to go in and just get an attack off. Why not? I'm going to hold on to the Black Maria for now, just in case I need that additional 2k counter. Kaido 4 life. I don't know, for some reason I feel like he should have 5, but maybe he'd be too OP. I definitely have always wondered how they decide between what's like 4 or 5 life, or, even 3 potentially. I guess they must do crap ton of simulation. So we come here, right there, I called it. Kept that 2k counter. And look at that. Now we can actually do some fun plays here. So we'll play down the stage because this is so important. Trash this card because we don't need it. And look at that. Boom. We have a baby pink ranger, which is perfect. We come here, deploy our bad guy. Or I shouldn't say bad guy, but our evil red ranger. Sounds way better. At some point, I'm probably going to buy all the alternate art and just go all in on Reiju. So nothing to do there. Oh, look, we've got another one. Perfect. This is what I love about these, because he might put all of his assault towards it and be like, oh, this is horrible. Let me try to kill it. But then, boom, I can just bring another one back. Or with Sora, I can summon him back. So it's kind of nice that there aren't like any crazy like 10k cost in the Reiju deck, because I feel like it would kind of throw off the tempo, because a lot of times, unless you get Black Maria out, you're not going to always be around 10 Dawn or so. So those big bullies are only really effective if Reiju doesn't have a good early and mid game. Oh, this is a pretty awesome loose-up card. Top 5, play, okay, cool. I love that green behind him. But man, Kaido is such a menace. You got Kaido versus the German Rangers. He's looking for something. He probably definitely has one of those big Kaidos in his deck. Probably the one to either, trash something, or there's the Kaido Lin, which you can essentially KO everything. So a lot of options. He's trying to get to 10 Dawn for sure, 9, 10 Dawn. And then you're going to see the big bodies come out. So I already got him down to 2 life. We're looking pretty good. We can get more cards in hand next turn. So I think we're in a good position to play around his big bodies, but anything can change. I also have a red rock here. In OP09, I ran Pudding, but one of the things I noticed is Pudding is great, but it was super situational. There's so much more big bodies in OP09, and even 10 and beyond that, I think red rock is just super important to have. So we'll probably take it here. Like, we don't mind playing at 3 life, but beyond 3, I feel like it's a little dangerous. Let's do a search. See, this is what you want to be doing all the time. Just essentially just constantly searching. So I'm going to take him. Even though I really would have liked to get the Yanji, that's perfectly fine. So we are going to 2, 6, 5. Yeah, we'll play this out. I feel like we need to. We want to get more cards in hand, which is always important. Look at that. And I already got one of those. That's what I wanted. And we have another 4. So we're going to make this guy the living hell right here, his life right here. So we have the 5k, we have the 7k. And he's like, oh, the assault is over. Thank God. We're going to play out another Red Ranger, and boom. The Reiju deck is always so amazingly consistent that I love it. So we're going to play this out. He's like, oh no, why are you doing this to me? Play out a Red Ranger. Doesn't matter. Go in for another 7k. Boom, he's down to 1 life, 4 cards. And next turn, he could play something huge. He's at 10 Dawn now. This is probably what he was waiting for. He was waiting for Sanji to the Luffy Toro. He's going to summon someone else. But unless he has a blocker, he's going to get murked next turn. There's like no way around it. So Kaido's going to come in. We're definitely going to counter out of this, and he really needs a blocker on the field right now. But the reason why you're seeing a lot of these older decks play right now, because in EBO2 and the OP10, a lot of these cards got some pretty awesome support. So we'll actually dump this. He can't do much. And this is going to be GG for him. There's really no way he can get out of this. We have way too much. So the first thing we're going to do is let's do a 6K swing. He's get rid of 2 cards, or at least take that. Yep, there we go. He has 2 cards in hand, so we could do another 5, 6, 7. He wants to get the next turn. He's like, please, let me survive one more turn. I'm going to win the game, and boom, GG. 3 games in a row with Reiju, and literally this is all day. OP10 is amazing. I'll definitely play some more of my other favorite, Black, Blue Usopp, but I'm telling you, if you see another Germa deck and it doesn't have the Yanji in it, like, you're missing out. The Yanji, the Red Rock. We didn't really use Black Bug across the last 3 games, but we didn't have to because we have such great tempo. So I love Reiju. Expect to see a lot more of her in OP10. I kind of expect to see her a bit more in tournaments. I don't know why people say she has so much combos or she's very complex. She's super easy. The 2 big combos or 3 combos you want to do is Baby Ranger into Large Ranger, right? A Porsche into a Small Ranger into a Large Ranger. And then the last one, which for people who, watched me play, I don't use this too often. I don't think many people do. It's very situational. Is the Judge character. If your board's empty and you're like, hey, I can survive another few hands, but I need to fill my board. The Judge comes in and boom, your entire field is stacked again. So, there's so many reasons of why Reiju is amazing. And sometimes I'm like, I wish she had a lot more support, but she really doesn't need it. If you don't get the cards early on, you'll get screwed, but that doesn't happen too often. So either way, I appreciate everyone, tuning in. Expect a lot more fun Reiju gameplay, and have a great night, day, wherever you might be. Peace, everyone.